Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's the Carcassonne Champions League qualification. It's Q4, so the group for the top eight of the ELO ranking that weren't able to secure a spot for another group. So we are in a consolidated final between Nallerheim, who lost in the Finnish finals, and defdean, who I don't know if they played for anything in Catalonia. I guess you've watched all these matches, and as I'm running a tad late, let's check if these two are already playing, and if not, I'll talk more. Let's check if they have created a tournament. Nallerheim is offline. Okay. Did we move the match? Now let's check defdean first. If he's offline as well. No, he isn't. Well, I know that Otto's connection when he's at home sometimes is spotty, but now he's here. So I would expect them to create the game in a second. Okay, so defdean lets us know, at least I think it's defdean from the surname. Yeah, he's defdean. That there's no feedback from Otto yet, but at least he's online now, so I would expect you two to hash it out immediately. Yeah, rating evolution of Otto, aka Nallerheim, takes a bit to load and sometimes a refresh or two. That's due to 30K games having to be computed because, I don't know, the caching algo doesn't really work. Yep. Have fun. So defdean is gone and they'll start their game. So what did I want to say about Otto's? Well, he became master pretty fast and more or less was rated plus 700 plus from then on, with only a few dips below and many peaks above 800. Top rating, what was it, 860, 870 something? I should know actually, but doesn't matter. We'll take a look at defdean's rating maybe later. For now, let's focus on the game. Favorite in this case, tough to say. The one who will be the starting player in the third game. Let's put it like this. So ideal start for Nallerheim, taking the extender here. defdean immediately tried to equalize the city. Otto defended. Then defdean took the city to have a nice, promising feature of his own. Otto took care of the, well, only road, with the road end already in place. defdean further expanded his city on the left side, which at least to me was the correct move. If he had gone over here, then an attack from Otto would also have endangered their other city. To try to create a second option to attack Blue City, which doesn't obstruct his road on the left side and light side. On the right side, yeah, and defdean with an interesting decision to, for one, take away this option, but leave this one, because he of course didn't like to close Otto's road, didn't like to close Otto's city, and really didn't like to create this road here and take the city cap, or the other way around, take the road, which is very iffy, if not claimed immediately with the crossroad, and leave this city cap in the open. Therefore, he went for this move, and actually, it's interesting, but I don't like it. The simple move of creating another city would have been the one I would have taken, just because in this case, you give your opponent the chance to attack and you don't have an immediate option to counter, which you would have had if you kept both sides open. The problem, though, is at some point in the game, you had to play a move like this or that, and at least then your opponent would be able to attack. So why not go for this now? Therefore, it might even be the best one. So blue tried to attack yellow city, but yellow immediately got the splitter and secures the first big advantage in this game, claiming the first non-4-point city. Also, there are still 4 road readers left, so it would be rather easy for them to connect here and take this road. Now they pressure blue city there. This here is iffy as is, even though there are still a lot of tiles out there to put there. Once yellow goes for something to restrict this, to kill this, this would become very problematic for blue. For now, blue with a loop road on the left side, adding pressure to yellow city. Yellow doesn't really like this outcome, wants to prevent this outcome being limited to a dagger, and therefore they go for this move, preventing many caps to close this city, giving yellow an option to expand their city while curtailing blues, and maybe being able to kill this and run away with a one mini battle. Hey, Joao. Blue takes these 2 points. Why not? I'd rather not go over here, which would be to yellow's advantage, as they are more likely to claim the road over here. Yeah, 1 problem less for blue, but yellow adds the next problem on blue's docket. Basically a Ukraining city and monastery with the cow. Nice move, especially with the meeple on it. Also threatening this here now. If killed, it's rather likely that yellow would win this mini battle. So blue might even connect there. As weird as it may have looked, they don't. They prefer to take this juicy city starter on the left while also closing their loop road. Go for immediate points. The same as Otto, doesn't go for the kill over here. Blue might protect. What else is there to do? Yeah. Looks to me like this is the move right now. There's one downside about claiming the road, and that's having to leave this 9-point field empty. So I think yellow could have considered adding this cap over here, and they quite likely would have if it weren't for a possible obstruction of their city. Yeah, and that's likely the reason why blue goes here, at least taking away the cow to pre-close this road. There are still two regular crossroads, yeah, two on the board up top, and this also takes away the quadruple crossroads. So an inconspicuous move by blue, but definitely a good one. I won't expect anyone to go for this connection, as there's only one starting tile left and the restriction would be very likely. Also, any road from the right side, and you'd rely on drawing one of the two remaining crossroads. So that's more or less a Hail Mary approach. And Otto just takes the field in such a way which would give this nice loop road. Blue with only one meeple in hand can't really justify taking the insurance road if they happen to get a straight, and have, quite frankly, way bigger problems to tackle now. This here, boy, could easily be or have been the winning move in this game. Just takes away so much options from blue. They now have to go for this monk, have to get it back ASAP if they can't get this road meeple back. But this road meeple, of course, is worse than getting this one back, as there is a yellow meeple on the road as well. Yeah, yellow adding another piece to their monastery, also expanding their side of the city up top, creating options to kill this. Blue has to defend. There are still 3 Doritos left, and there should also be one splitter. Yeah, there's also one splitter. But do you really want to use the splitter over here, giving your opponent this chance? Nah, you won't, unless you would be able to kill this square forehand. And that's the tricky part of Nallerheim's monastery. Quite likely he'll wait to complete this square before doing anything left to the monastery. I mean, there are still 2 daggers out there, but not really worth the problems this could entail. So he goes for another approach, which is trying to restrict this square. Yeah, sure, it's his city, I don't know, in the end, maybe a ruin. But if he keeps this at 3, or might be able to tie blue city later, restricting the square and giving blue no chances to get the monk back, would definitely be a good option. Now that this didn't work out, he adds a curve here, knowing full well that a restriction to the 2 daggers could be incoming, but blue doesn't even go for this restriction, they take care that they have at least a one move to get the road closed and get a second meeple. Now they don't need to go for this as they have a second meeple in hand. But another devastating move for yellow here by yellow. Devastating rather for blue because they lost control of this city. Yellow connected, took a 5-point road and 3 points to their armor on top of it all. This doesn't look good for blue here. And that might even be the reason why they didn't go for this restriction. There still is an outside chance to connect over here and take this city over, which would close at least parts of the huge gap on the scoreboard. Whoa, looks like desperation by blue going for this attack, but it isn't desperation. There are 2 cities on their field, and there could be 3 or 4, even if they don't happen to get the dagger. Of course, they don't go all in now. They could do this move later, and they continue their city maybe. Okay, now this outside chance of taking over the top city, at least by this channel here, is taken away by Otto, giving him 5 pieces to get the monk back in hand. Although he for sure would prefer to get a vanilla. The Dorito would open up attacking options again, even though there then would only be 1 Dorito left for blue to connect this 1 point city meeple into the bigger part. In some cases, blue might need to go for the option to take this one over. We'll see. For now, blue's down 14. They liberated 1 monk, placed another one. So a 7-point move. Definitely good for their chances. Yellow restricts the monastery. Basically takes away some options of using Doritos there. Well, maybe other city tiles, at least complicating this situation by quite a lot. Doritos blue would rather use for the city as that is still alive. Yellow gets 1 of the 2 daggers, so there's only 1 remaining to unite yellows with blue's field. One problem for yellow, of course, is that there's really no great option to expand the field apart from drawing a road Dorito to claim this city here, which would open up this field to the left side. And of course, the connection to blue's one, which really isn't desirable unless yellow were in need of swinging for the fences, which I don't expect to see down the road because their position looks quite good now. Yeah, with more meeples in hand, blue might even consider something like that, even though this square would be dead. just for the points. As it stands now, they can't really afford a move like that, so they hope to either attack or kill, and my money would be on going for the kill. Will Otto indirectly defend, or will he kill blue city? There are no big city tiles left. The indirect defense would be my bet, but he goes for blue's kill and might actually be right at plus 13, preventing the worst from happening, which for sure would be blue closing their city. Is definitely a good heuristic to follow. Doesn't really need this meeple back. And blue's option of taking over, well, it was unlikely to work out. Unlikely to the tune of 23% or something like that. And even if it were to happen, it would not win blue the game unless it were to happen on the next two moves. Then they might have a great chance. But if I had attacked and would need to wait at least 2 or 3 moves, winning this city wouldn't really help them. Wouldn't really. Sorry. English grammar, not my strong suit. Is there any chance for blue at minus 17? Yeah, this was a nice, or is a nice setup. An option to claim 5 points with a simple cap. Also building up another 9-point field for them to take once they liberate the monk. So a tough question for yellow, whether they should even go there or refrain from doing this exact move and instead do something else. It's really tricky. Really tricky. And yeah, that's the same one. That's the same one. Because in some cases, blue could liberate like that and even attack the city, which still is alive. There is 1 rose left to close this. And there is no rotary to left. Yeah, okay, so it's that. Sorry. And what's the last one? Up top. Up top. Yeah. I don't know what I was talking about when Otto played this. Might have just missed it. So this is that. 1 mini battle for yellow. Yellow takes the 9-point field, and that's game over. This is that. This is that. It's not game over. Damn it. It's not game over. There is still this dagger left to unite these fields, which is only a 3-point move. But if blue scores a few quick points and manages to take this field over, which would be as simple as adding a farmer here and then using the dagger to unite these 3 fields, this could work for them unless Otto gets a meeple back to score more points here. And he gets the dagger, which should now be game over. At plus 23. Yeah. Nice move by blue, actually. 11 pointer for them. 3 points for the city, 1 for yellow, 3 to blue's existing field, 6 for their new field. But still minus 12 with only 2 moves to go. Should be enough for yellow. There's no attack here, there's no attack here. So yellow's secondary field or second field is safe. And this one is safe as well. And if you can't take away fields from yellow, well then there is no way to close the gap. And with 2 moves, you could only tie one of these fields, possibly, which actually isn't even the case, as there are these crossroads and only the Dorito left. So this here even was a safe move for yellow. Plus, quite likely the highest scoring option upon completion. Now they can't, of course, take the field, as this was their last meeple. Doesn't matter. Blue still takes their sweet time to check whether there still is an option. Yeah, it would have been lovely to have this one, but it isn't present anymore. So while blue is thinking, let me check. 71 Knives said something about another match to be started in 30 minutes. Let's check. What are they doing? Playing against Bombero 47, which might be the match they talked about. And for those of you who don't care about the Belgian Carcassonne Online Championship 2026, just ignore me for now. Yeah, looks like it's one of these matches. Okay. Blue goes for a field in the end. Yellow even gets a meeple back to be used on their last turn for 3 points, quite likely. There, any other field left? It's 4 points. It's a shielded one. Okay. Then we don't even have to look for fields, of course. Yeah, quite convincing win for yellow. Having the right priorities. For example, this one over here, not going for the indirect block, but killing Blue City. I still think a lot was hinging on Blue's interesting rose move there. Some might call this questionable. I'm definitely not sure about the exact likelihoods of this one here being successful. In the end, to me, again, there was the option to just start a new city, and I quite likely would have gone for that. But we need a deeper analysis to check out if this was worth it or not. So looks like a fast start again. Yeah, easy start, of course, both with monasteries. defdean takes the first 4 points with the city up top. And we'll create a city now. The question is, where exactly do you go? There is no safe option. Going over here could lead to a restriction like that. The other way around would be more or less the same on the left side. This here could result in something like that. So maybe just going for this one might be okay. Even if it gives back 1 point to yellow's monastery as well. At least you'd get your monastery closer to completion while also padding your city. But the one up top works. I still don't really like this. Yellow could immediately attack there and create a problematic square for your monastery. And it might be more likelier than them going over here. At least this attack of your city would give back 1 point to your monastery while also creating a slightly restricted square. Yeah, still not sure. Anyway, yellow doesn't mind. And this square, of course, it's a shared between these two. They just start a new city there. Blue claimed the road in the safe way, not going for this adventurous option. Auto claimed the road as well, leaving this city here, hoping to get a curve to restrict blue's road, possibly. It didn't work out, as blue then was able to claim the city while also adding a cap for them to be claimed if they happen to get the right piece there to continue road and city. And the second game in a row where yellow threw a big quadruple city into blue's works, delaying and obstructing their city for quite a while, which again is of course totally annoying for blue. Yeah, this is also not a great piece for blue, with their city in the vicinity possibly being restricted to a dagger with any big city tiles by yellow. Yellow might in some cases even go for a pre-block like this. Possibly could even use this, but this city cap up there isn't ideal. So let's see, they could just claim the cap here while also leaving this cap in a place where blue might need to obstruct the road. Yeah, you could run into something like that, but at least this is one of the caps that blue needs on the right side as well. Yeah, he goes for the pre-block. So any Dorito or big city tile like that would kill blue city immediately, of course. But blue gets a horse and defends, leaving a starting tile flip, which is in yellow's favor, again, due to blue having this road on the right side with the city cap there. And if yellow would be able to limit this square to the starting tile, that definitely would be great for them. And so I rather expect blue to go for this move, giving them 2 horses to get the meeple back and possibly chances to unite these 2 cities here, or maybe attack this one. The problem, of course, for blue is with this one here, they enter a mini battle, which they quite likely would lose in the end. But it still looks to me like the best option. Yeah, this orientation might be better. But is it? Well, in defdean, I trust in this case. He should know his stuff. 4 points on the left side. 4 points over here as well. So he takes away the option for which more caps were left, and also protects this square, as he is currently and quite possibly for a longer while, due to the city, the side with the meeple disadvantage, therefore protecting options to get meeples back, in this case a shared meeples as well, is strategically a sound choice. Yellow wouldn't mind, or wouldn't have minded, killing this square, because the meeple majority of with lesser meeples in hand for both sides definitely is better than a 6-5 meeple majority, for example. Blue does what they have to do. Score the most points possible, this time by meepling the 6-point monastery. Yellow with the insurance or consolation, whatever you'd like. Farmer up top, claiming indirectly this field, which has so many options to still expand. Blue road over here, it would expand to the left, top left as well. So definitely a good idea to claim this, especially if you have the meeples to go for it. Or to try to restrict the square at the bottom. The straight, there are still 2 daggers left, so it wouldn't really be near a kill, but it also restricts this square and takes away a few options for blue to continue over here. Looks now like they need to go for a Dorito completion pattern. – Yellow plays it safe. Could have opened a new city. Of course, a restriction might have been coming. But it would have been a city on your field. Giving back restriction options against your still closable city, though. Yeah, wow. Nice move by blue. Sure, your city could be restricted to 2 daggers. Or yellow could attack it immediately. But you also have the chance to kill this. So they go for the jugular, which with all these Doritos out there, I quite likely never would have. But they go for this risk and now protect, giving them 3 options to close this city. They protect the road at the cost of possibly increasing yellow's city. But with the cow, closing this one will be so cumbersome that just getting this meeple back might be worth it, even if it's at a cost of -3 or -2 points, as blue would score 1, but yellow would get these 2 plus an additional 1 or 2 point for the connection piece. Good news for Nallerheim, getting one of blue's 3 city caps. Now there are only starting tiles left, which of course gives yellow better chances to kill this. You only need to restrict this with a city or road from the right side. That's definitely way easier than having to go for the city part. Nonetheless, this doesn't help for now, at least not for this situation. Rather not claim these 3 points just to cut blue's road short there. In the end, might just take the simple 2 points and add a cap on his field, at least his field for now. Okay, he goes for this city at the cost of creating this road, which he might take later if he happens to get a meeple back and gets a curve, just to have the 6-point consolation if blue closes this one, in a case of yellow not being able to kill this. So many ifs. Now the simple approach of closing the city again on your field, bringing your city closer to completion. This works quite nicely. What will blue do now? Restrict and prepare the kill over here. Splitters are gone and 3 vanillas are gone. The field Doritos, yellow would love to use on the left side. And this here doesn't look better. Maybe it is though. Because even if yellow were to connect here, you'd still have chances to attack or block. But it only gives one option to yellow to immediately close up here with the twin caps, and two of them are on the board already. Yellow immediately defends. Blue creates another option to possibly restrict unless they happen to get something to claim this maybe. Of course, there's also still the extender out there, which blue could use to claim the right side as well. Oh, no easy moves here. Such a great game. Blue claims this one, leaving not many options for yellow to immediately attack due to the dagger asymmetry. And this dagger asymmetry is why blue goes over there, complicating yellow's situation even more. So there's one dagger over here. There's the extender and twin cap there. Ain't it, Pira? Yeah, yellow finally goes for this restriction. Blue indirectly defends, forcing yellow to need a curve, or in this case curvy, or crossroad to kill the square. They do, but this was the last dagger for this square at least, and this might be the reason for defdean's reaction here. So the extender over here for blue would be immediately killing this city as the square is dead. But Otto happens to draw the extender. He also, in the meantime, got the starting tile to claim the road on the left side, which was a great move for him, of course, claiming 4 points, and due to blue's 4-point loop road, adding another city to, oops, wrong color, it's yellow, of course, yellow's main field. But it's yellow for now, and it's worth 12 points. So prone to be attacked by blue later. They don't go for Hail Marys like this one here yet. Yellow claims the only empty city cap on the board, which they had to leave there because there weren't that many city caps with road from the left side left in the deck. Blue actually could have taken it. Their city up top is so safe that it's really no problem leaving it there. And this here would work in a lot of cases with all three right-handed daggers still out there. Plus they have these two horses to liberate a meeple immediately. The caps up top, of course, caps over here, curves here, monastery there. Yeah, I think where am I? this move was taken before blue's Dorito, of course. So there was never a chance for blue taking the city at the bottom on the right side. Rather, with their Dorito, they only could have used their cow, and then, of course, this option isn't that great. Yeah, defdean could now restrict this to a 50-50. Auto closed this here, of course, in a heartbeat. Even added the second farmer, possibly just to take away options for blue to add a farmer of their own to connect. Because it's, well, there are still 2 tiles to connect there with the insurance meeple there. But there are also options like this for blue to attack and leave this one stranded on their own field for 3 points. In some cases, maybe even this one here would work better, as there are still the daggers out there. Okay, yellow, wow, that's nice. Taking away 4 of 5 caps to close this city. And now the twin caps are extra crucial. Blue needs them to close the city. They'd also be able to claim the 6-point field, which they definitely would do. Meanwhile, defdean didn't do anything about the square, didn't reduce yellow's chances to still connect there, which might be just due to some pieces being able to kill this, but actually I don't really like this. There aren't that many roads still out there, and you could use the ones that are in other places anyway. Yeah. He's at minus 25 after this move, so maybe he had just hoped to draw both connections pieces, or, for example, get a curve to kill the square before yellow would be able to connect. But now it's looking very grim. And quite frankly, like he has to take over yellow's 15-point main field. Okay, for now he kills yellow's chance to connect. Although it's technically still possible using the outside. But yellow won't waste their moves on this option. They'd rather either add an insurance farmer, like this here, which looks wonky but is rather safe. There's the one monastery to kill this, but there are still 3 daggers to go over here, so city part from here wouldn't really be an efficient restriction. Something like that would be. but he just goes for the insurance field on the right side, also endangering Blue City more than it already was. They at least were able to protect and still have the twin caps to close the city, but at what cost? Scoring 5 when you close this one, but adding 3 to yellow is just a 2-point swing. And it's definitely not enough to move the needle in this game by any usable amount, especially not if you're down roughly 30 points. So this here is a precise move worthy of a surgeon. Yellow threatening to close this city as well. And well, I even didn't talk about the decision of blue to extend yellow city with the horse and not claim their meeple. Yeah, well, the threat of yellow closing this one and getting the meeple back was too severe to not do anything about that, even if it comes at the cost of not getting this one back. Although the third meeple in hand would have been lovely, I have better chances of taking over yellow's field and also still being able to score quick points. But let's figure out a way for blue. 29 points down, 4 moves left. They need to take over the main field to the tune of 30 points. And how should they do that exactly? Seems impossible to me. Yeah, game over. Great job. Great job, Otto. Great job. Dead rubber moves by blue. Scoring a few points here or there. And let me quickly check something. Yeah. Finally, welcome back, Otto, to the Champions League. Yeah. That's an app summary. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Otto has something to say about some moves by defdean, which to me looked a bit rushed in some cases. Yeah, that's right as well. And being modest too. This here was really gutsy by defdean. I'm not sure if it was necessary at this point in the game, but he decided to go for it, and this would have worked out if he had only gotten one of the 3 caps to close this, and would have then bring us a more interesting, I don't know, it was interesting nonetheless, but definitely a game more suspenseful than it was in the end. And yeah, sure, not being able to block this connection was crucial as well. This is the one Otto was talking about, so this here, quite likely. Because in that case, the horse would have liberated the road at no cost. Instead, it would be a positive move for blue instead of the -2 or -3 move. Let's see if he has anything else to criticize. In the meantime, let's check on the Belgian folks. Is it Group A? I think so. What was the name? Bombero something? Bombero 47. Okay. Yeah, that's right. At this point in time, blue had one. No, that's wrong. There were blue meeples over here, over there. There, this one was blues, right? That's true. And the 7th one over here would have been tricky, but I guess this was rather easy to liberate, and monasteries might have been as well, plus the 3 caps for the city. So we'd have to check the replay, skip back to this cow move by blue. We might as well do, but let's see if they continue with their post-mortem or if it's just done. Looks like it. No one chatting anymore, and the protagonist of this post-mortem just entered the chat. Hey Otto, welcome. Congratulations. Finally, you are back after, well, being ousted last year. Great games. I don't think I've ever lauded you on stream like I did today. And lauding folks usually isn't my style, so you're welcome. And yeah. No. Q4, you know a bit of German, right? Q4 isn't the way to go. Please, just win your Finnish championships. Even though I enjoy you playing these high-level games and like to commentate them for sure, I'd rather see you in the Champions League for sure than having to, how should I say this? Having to hope for you managing to win one of the qualifications, as these are not crapshoots, but you know the deal. You could lose to anyone in this field on any given day if they just happen to draw the right pieces. I mean, you've won these two games here quite convincingly, but some simple pieces could have turned this game around quite easily. I mean, blue didn't even attack your main field, and just closing the city, tying the main field could have been enough for them, or preventing this one from being closed. So please, next year, just win the Finnish online championship. I mean, this was an upset, losing the best of 5 against, was it Nopasaki? Don't remember. Yeah, Christmas would have been rather shoddy without securing, well, at least a nice present. I don't know about you, if it's your best present. I don't know about your family. So let me stop just right there. But it's definitely, I think, a nice present you secured yourself, especially because this is your work today, and it's not even a gift. It's not like defdean played shoddy moves or something like that. He did his best. I mean, a few moves I'm not 100% sure about, but going for this risk, the rows in the first game in the beginning comes to mind as well. I get them, not sure they are the ideal ones, but if going for the risk is his style, I mean, he finds outlandish moves sometimes, so I definitely won't complain about content moves. Just turned out these two didn't work out for him in these two games here. Lapatori, right, yeah, not Nopasaki. Sorry, Lapatori. I should have known, because Nopasaki played qualifications, right? And he wouldn't if he had won the Finnish championships, of course. Yeah, hi defdean. Or is it David? I think so. This time with the right screen name, yeah. A bit tilty. Oh, well, it's annoying to lose on a level like this, but at least you lost against a great opponent, so that should at least be some sort of consolation. What's the status of Catalonian online championships? Was there one, or how did your teammates qualify? Oh, actually, we could check this out, right? For the Champions League. Yeah, chirurgical place. That's more or less my words. I used surgeon on the stream. So Catalonia, oh, there's an offline tournament. So there's no online tournament. So defdean, did you participate in the offline tournament and just lost, or didn't you have the time or the option to compete there? I mean, Catalonia isn't that big, so I think most of you are from Barcelona anyway, right? Oh, the first day of the Catalan League. So not an offline tournament then? Or is it an offline league event? Okay, so next year they'll take the champion of the Live League live games. Okay. That's an interesting choice. Is there any link you could share or any more infos about this league? Because I'd definitely be interested if you use best of 3 matches offline as well. Else, I would rather hope one of you would take the chance and organize something online, because there are quite a few good players and the matches for sure would be interesting to cover. So, but there's still a match running currently. Last article on Carcassonne.cat, right? Yeah, I'll check there later. 8 games each day, total of 4 days. Okay. Yeah, well, then I will check the website later. Okay, so let's again, oops, wrong direction. Take a final look at Q4. Nallerheim ousted in the upper final, but today was able, as we've all witnessed, to win the consolidated final with defdean, and with this second place in the Q4 secured the main stage ticket this time around. defdean, after a close loss versus Rapid Rain, managed to win 3 in a row, but the 4th one didn't work out. But there's a chance next year, and I think David should be considered at least one of the, if not the favorite for winning the Catalonian League. And so we might see him in next season's Champions League. So that would be in 2027. Else, I'm pretty sure we'd see him in Q4 next year again, if not in another qualification. So then again, there's still a match running. So as this has implications on possible Champions League qualifications, even if it's for next season, so 2027. Let's hop to the Belgian Carcassonne Online Championship. So playoffs will take place early next year, basically in January, possibly extending into February as well. There are 12 folks who will qualify for the playoffs with 4 groups. That means top 3 qualify, first one gets to the quarterfinal. 2 and 3 go to the round of 12 or the pre-playoffs or play-in games, whatever you'd like to call them. And a 71 Knives currently plays versus Bombero 47. This is updated, so Carl Verheiden, which is 71 Knives, needs to win this one, whereas Bombero doesn't have any chance at securing a playoff ticket. So let's go there and check out if the favorite will be able to win this one. Favorite just because the rating difference, I mean, that's not just one landslide, that are 2 or 3 landslides between the two. Yeah. He goes for a 9-point monastery. which is dead, as the other two monasteries are up there. But 9 points are 9 points, right? And if you have the 5 meeples in hand, why not go for this? Closing the city up top. Still 4 vanillas left to close that one. And it looks like this should be yellow's game here. And these 3 dead meeples versus the 2. Plus this just created restriction to 2 remaining daggers. Looks to me like yellow should have the meeple majority in the long run and therefore be able to attack blue's 12-point field. There are, of course, options to do so. I would love a move like this one here, going for the double field attack and a 75% chance to fill this evil hamster. But the best news for yellow is they don't even need this field to win the game. If they manage to kill this square, just containing this one here like it is at 12 points might be all they need. Blue with another farmer, closing down on any options to reattack, and that's exactly why they didn't turn the curve the other way around. Also takes away this connection, at least parts of it, but it could still be profitable for yellow, as they'd take away 6 points from blue if they unite these 2 blue fields. Yellow dumped the quadruple city there. They are the side who, in the end, is more likely to claim it. Frankly, they could have claimed it even now. With blue having only the 1 meeple in hand, it's not necessary. No, you could run into a situation where blue gets this meeple back. You don't get any city piece to claim this. And then blue just takes this. Yeah, now the kill quite likely will happen. I'm not a fan of this setup by yellow, because this leaves the 1 dagger. And volatile setups like this are in many cases to the advantage of the side with less meeples in hand. And look at that. Thank you, deck, for supplying us with this dagger right now when I was talking about this situation. Underlining my words. That's just perfect. So, unnecessarily gifted these 6 points to your opponent. Absolutely not worth it when you could have added this one somewhere else. The dagger also results in this square being dead, so blue won't be able to extend their field, won't add quite likely yellow's extender city. to the field, but it also takes away options by yellow to connect through this square. For example, this one here, yellow could have considered having the chance to connect on the left side with the road monastery and on the right side with the remaining dagger. But again, that's done. Nice move by blue, taking away options to attack the field over there. But in the end, these 10 points plus 1 versus 4 meeples, this might work in 5, maybe 10% of all permutations if you happen to get the right pieces. I mean, even this, let me use the tiles. Even going for the connection, scoring only 3 points for the monastery, so 9 minus 6, might work in some cases. Because then you'd be able to pad the field even more and possibly forcing yellow to attack it, even though they might like to go for a fieldless win. As is, without this connection, padding the top field or the center field is risky business, as every city, or more or less every city you'd add there, would open up field attacking options. Wow. Blue goes for the ruin at this stage. Still a lot of quick point tiles out there. Nope. Don't see a world where this move wins. You just leave so many good tiles out there, which you could have still claimed for more than 8 points. And of course, there are still a lot of options for yellow to just equalize this ruin. What did yellow do with the dagger? They went over here. Okay, yeah. Create a field for them. 6-pointer. Could have been more creative, taking this field up top. But why, if you don't need to? I'm flabbergasted again. 4 meeples in hand. Still road tiles parts out there to claim the field and further pad this monastery, liberate the monk, but yellow still goes for 3 immediate points instead of the 6. Now 7. Yeah, not my style. Don't like this at all. But in the end, it won't matter. Now that yellow was able to connect. No. No. Take away yellow's option if you want to be precise. They don't. Now yellow goes for the field up top. This field connection is impossible by now, as 1 road monastery was drawn, so the double road monastery combination isn't possible anymore. And all other monasteries were gone in the early going of this game. We witnessed this one here. And on top of that, there's always the road monastery connection into blue's field anyway. Not anymore, due to them drawing the road monastery doesn't really matter. I mean, could have even gone for this. Tag on the left side quite likely would have been incoming with only one connection. But it doesn't matter. Carl will win this one. And then we'll take a look at the table and check their chances, or his chances in this case, to secure a playoff ticket. What's this? Might even be his last game, actually. No, it isn't. It's the 6th, so he still has 2 matches to go. But we'll explore that after the last moves are done here. Yeah, well done. Managed to come back after losing the first game. Let's see. Okay, simple congratulations. I wouldn't expect a lot of discussion after this one here. So let's go to the group stage standings here. So 71 knives. Is this a case of where the intermediate result is present? It isn't. Okay. Then it's simpler. So he's at 4 match wins, 8-5. Again, Bombero was and still is out of contention, so I don't really care about their options. Bezier's win versus Jorn Ritter is already factored into this table. So these 3 are already at 8 matches played. Let's take a look at the cross table. Bezier has a match versus Pascal we left. And 71 Knives still has matches versus Bangla and Pascal. So he definitely should be the favorite. These 2. Yeah, so again, 4, and he's at 8-5. Would be lovely if Sergey would add the simulation options, which are already present in the Champions League standings, or at least in the extended standings. So let's say Bezier wins their last game 2-0. Why not? Let's trust. This is not readable. Okay, so Bezier at +6 in the end with 6-2 wins, just like these 2. 71 Knives should win the last remaining matches as well, so would go to 6-2 as well. He's at +3 for now. Could therefore result in a +5 or +6 or +7. So he's still able to leapfrog Bezier. And he's at 8. He would leapfrog Nice Dicer as well with +6 or +7. Yeah, let's check. Has he played against Nice Dicer? I know he has, because I covered that match earlier today. So here, nice dicer 1. So the direct comparison would go to nice dicer, and in some cases 71 knives would lose then a tiebreaker to nice dicer. So going for 2 close matches won't cut it. To leapfrog nice dicer, he quite likely has to win at least one of the 2 matches to 0 to get to a games difference of +6. Yeah, and that then should be the result he needs to go for. Win 2 matches, at least one of them with a clean 2-0. And he'd take one of the playoff spots. As Joren, sorry, is it Joren? Again, my Dutch is shoddy. I'm sorry, folks. As the player in first place is already at +7, and 71 knives is only able to get +7 and not to +8. He has no chance to get the first place because the tiebreaker would be more game wins, and he has no way to reach 13. His max is 12. Yeah, so 2 wins, one of them to 0, and he should be safe. Okay, that's then it for now. Let's check if there are other matches scheduled for the next 2 days. Looks not like it, and this suits me fine. And I'll quite likely might see you on the other side of Christmas for the match between Stephen Chung, TW, and Michaels. It's also a second place match, so these two are fighting for a Champions League main stage ticket as well. The same goes for Dr. Tsai Han, Pavel Brin, which I quite likely will be covering as well, unless... Oh, I don't think one of the other two would cover this, so I'm pretty sure I'll do. Yeah, this might be the last stream before Christmas, so if you're celebrating it, have a nice holiday. If you don't, enjoy possibly 3 days as well. And if you have to work on the holidays, thank you so much for keeping our societies running 24/7. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.